Right, it's Tom and Dave this time for mine exploration. We've come back to do another video because back to the Ironstone mine, as in the previous two videos, because as I was driving home I thought, yeah, alright, we've proved that the Davy lamp does go out once you get down to sort of 16-17% air, oxygen levels, so we know the Davy lamp does work. But then I thought, later on of course they were using carbide lamps. Obviously not in coal mines, but in a lot of other mines. You know, there's evidence in quite a lot of lead mines that they were using carbide, and if you go over to the States, carbide was used everywhere. Very common. So what I've done is I've brought both the Davy lamp and the carbide lamp, which we're going to do the same test with. So we're going to continue walking down the passage, which we know contains an area of very poor oxygen levels, and we're just going to compare and see which one goes out first. Now I know, well, very much suspect that the Davy lamp's going to go out first. The carbide lamp, I'm not too sure. I think it'll keep burning, because if I look at the chemical formula, which is C2H2, isn't it? What I think is happening is the hydrogen, I'm assuming, I'm not a scientist or a chemist, I'm assuming it's the hydrogen that's reacting and burning, which would allow it to burn with no oxygen. Now if I sort of do a bit of reading and things, it suggests that about 10% is when it would go out, but I don't know. Only way to test this is to try. Obviously I can't go down to 10% oxygen because I'm going to pass out, you know, so that isn't very good for me. But we go down up to the point that the Davy lamp goes out, and just see and compare what the flames are like. So you can see now, if I just give that a shake, 'cause it's been sat for a while, probably needs a bit more water going through it. Obviously you know how these work, there's a water tank at the top dripping over calcium carbide in the bottom, so you're getting the reaction in the bottom which is producing your acetylene gas, hence the flame. So let's see if that can continue to react when there's no or very little oxygen in the atmosphere. So I'm going to hand the Davy lamp to my dad, who's going to walk down in front of us, and I'll follow with the carbide lamp. If you just keep your eye on the Davy lamp for now, and I'll keep putting the carbide lamp in front of the view so we can just watch what happens. This is an ironstone mine which is got very prominent bad air or low oxygen in places because of the lack of ventilation in here, and also there's a lot of rotten timbers, and of course the action of ironstone rotting uses up oxygen, so produces CO2 of course. So I'm not sure whether it's an area of high CO2 or low O2, I don't know, but all I know is it does get quite difficult to breathe down there, and obviously the you know, your oxygen meter's going off like there's no tomorrow, so that's turned off for now, because having already been down here I know at the point that we're going to start hitting the bad air. So you can see at the minute the Davy lamp is getting slightly lower, carbide lamp no problems, still burning nice and brightly, and the Davy lamp now, if we get a bit closer there, look, you can see it's getting quite low. We purposely put a good flame on it as we left, just to make sure that, you know, we've got a fair comparison, because obviously this flame here is, you know, sticking out 3/4 of an inch, so we want to similar to the Davy lamp. You can see the Davy lamp now, if that just stops for a moment and I go close to it, you can see how small the flame is. It's still burning, but there's not much left there. In comparison, if we look at the carbide lamp, it's still burning nicely. So the Davy lamp now, we're getting to the point where we do hit the bad air. And you can see the Davy lamp, if that just stops again, see on the stop sector, if you go back to it, look, you can see there's a little flame there, maybe only about 1/4 of an inch. Compare that to carbide burning brightly still. So I'd say the Davy lamp is very shortly going to go out. So I think there's a hook on the wall somewhere here where we can hang the Davy lamp up. Has it gone out there? Yep. Yeah, it has, it's gone out. So Dad's just going to hang it up on that hook. And I'm going to get close up so you can see. So it hasn't actually gone out. There's a very small flame still burning there. Hardly anything. In comparison, you can see, give it a shake, get a bit more water down there, burning bright. So I'll spin this round and then we continue down holding the acetylene lamp, the carbide lamp, sorry, so you can see how we get on. So if you don't mind, I'm going to keep looking at the floor because there's a few bits and pieces here I have to be careful of. You can see we're now fairly far past the point that the Davy lamp's gone out. So what I'm expecting now, or I know is going to happen, because I've done this many times before in various places, is my chest's going to start getting tighter. I start to feel like I'm going to get a nosebleed, but I'm not going to go so far that obviously I'll pass out, because that would be silly. If doing what we're doing here is not silly. You can see, burning bright. And you can see, give that a bit of air, water, burning brightly still. In comparison to the lighter, absolutely nothing. So put that in there. So that just proves that the acetylene lamps, carbide lamps, excuse me, are no good for detecting low oxygen levels, which means they'll be a lot less safe, apart from the obvious having an open flame. You can tell from my breath, I'm not extremely unfit or anything. Stand here a minute. You can't get your breath back. You can breathe as much as you like, but it's gets a lot more difficult to things. But we're heading back out, and I can feel a nice breeze coming down. So from this point, we're all right. I'm just going to stop the video for a moment and I'll restart it once we get a little bit further into some fresh air. So of course, lovely lamp, and you get a lovely light off it. I've done other videos on YouTube that compares it to different torches and things, you know, like I do silly things like that. Compared it to the xenon torch, which of course was rather excessive, being like a bit like a car headlamp bulb really, compared to an old bit of technology like a carbide lamp. So you might want to watch that video, I don't know. And also I did a bit of a walk with just the lighting from a carbide lamp, which actually we could do now because it's still burning nicely. What happens, I wonder? I'm going to so just for anybody that's interested what it was like, this is just using the light from the carbide lamp, and you can see actually, if I look at the ceiling, you can see the sort of flame that's coming out there. For anybody that doesn't want to watch the other video for, you know, I know it's a bit of a search on YouTube, isn't it, to find things, but you can see just how good the light was. I mean, I'm looking down into the darkness there, and though the camera can't pick it up, I can actually see quite well. If I look down on the floor there, look, you know, it's lighting up the haulage ropes nicely, and if we go down to the posts and things, you know, it's a good light, isn't it? So carbide, I can understand why it's an advancement over a Davy lamp. So I don't know if you want to watch the full video on YouTube of, you know, lighting the mine with carbide. We did it down in, oh, what mine was it? Was it? I think it was Butane. Was it Butane level? Yeah, it was. I think it was Butane level, over sort of reef direction, on the side. So that was quite interesting to do at the time. But what I learned at that time as well is to control the flow of water. On the top of your lamp, of course, you've got that little switch, if you want to call it that, on the top, little valve. You've got to soak the carbide and then turn it all the way down, so you're getting maybe one drip every 30 seconds. And it lasts for absolutely ages if you do that. I mean, I've got a good spoonful of granules in the bottom, and I'm using the pea granules, so they're ranging from maybe 5mm to 10mm diameter, so they're quite coarse. And that seems, for me, for these lamps, it seems to be, you know, what they're like. But I'm still out of breath. So, to conclude, the Davy lamp is fantastic in every way now compared to carbide. Yes, it's not as bright, but certainly a lot safer. I think, given the choice of the two, I would have preferred, if I were a miner, for me, a Davy lamp over a carbide lamp, because of the extra safety built in. But I was a bit out of breath. Oh yeah, I keep doing that on them beams. I was a bit out of breath now. You certainly tell when you do hit bad air. So I've had to try and do this twice, because the first time when I got down to the wheel, I turned around too quick and the lamp blew out. So I couldn't come to a conclusion, obviously, and I couldn't relight the lamp because I couldn't light the lighter. I got the lighter to light. Another video from Tom and Dave. Dave's my dad, of course, for mine exploration. Hope you enjoyed this video. Promise not to do anything too stupid next time like doing this. Obviously it's not a good idea to go down somewhere that you know has bad air, because you know, you could get into a lot of bother. But you know, we've got safety equipment here sort on standby, so you know, if the worst should happen, we've got a backup plan and stuff. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you can give us a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you hated it. You could consider subscribing, it just sort of drives us on. We don't make any money out of these videos or anything, we just do it totally out of pleasure, so it just makes us feel good that people like to see it. So thanks for watching, see you next time.